Anthony from Hasselnut, and today we're going to review WEMO products brought to you by Linksys, who gave me a WEMO Smart 3-way light switch and a WEMO Smart plug, and both are Wi-Fi enabled. But when we get back, we're going to take a look at these things, and I'll tell you what I think. Okay, so welcome back. So we have these two smart devices here, and I don't know what to say about them, but they're awesome, especially if you are like me, who like to have a light on, and then when you go to bed, you have to get back up to turn off the light. It really annoyed me after a while, and I thought, well, there has to be a better way to this. And then all of a sudden, Linksys was like, hey, I'm going to send you some products to review, and I'm like, well, okay. Now, to be honest, I did get this one back almost 2 years ago, and I already submitted a review for them, which you can find on their website, and I recently just finished reviewing this for them. So I figure if you're interested in smart homes, you should be interested in this. Now, if you have an Alexa from Amazon or a Home from Google, they're compatible. And if I say a certain phrase, you'll hear my Google Home turn on and ask me for input. But for the purpose of this, we're going to actually start with the what I think is probably the most fun one. It is the WEMO Smart plug, and it is straightforward. It is, you essentially just plug it in once you get out of the box. Now it's already plugged in, because here's what the box is like, empty. It just plugs in because it's controlling this light. So watch. Hey Google, turn off WEMO. Hey Google, turn on WEMO. Like that, right? And it is sweet. So, things you can do with this WEMO Mini, as it is called, because this is actually the mini version. You can control it by voice through your home device, as you've just seen here. You also can use the app, and with either of them control basic functions, but with the app you can actually do scheduling. But you have to have a dedicated internet connection, which means you need to have wireless router signals bursting around in there, bump, bump, bump. But otherwise, this is a fairly simple app, and you can remotely access it, which was really great, because I went on vacation recently, and I don't know if anybody knows, but I was turning off and on my light because I was bored. But it is a pretty sweet product, and it's around $20-$25, depending where you get it. And it's just, you set it up in the WEMO app, and it's good to go afterwards. Then, if you want to do your home device, you sync with that, and I have to admit, there was an application error for the syncing. I had to start it over again, but once it's done, it's good to go. You just have to make sure your routers keep going and this thing stays powered. And because, of course, it plugs into an outlet, and it takes up about as much space as a three-pronged device or outlet does for like a computer or something. And I'm, of course, using it for this lamp here. So, great deal. And I'm going to go into this next product here, and then we're going to discuss some latency. So we're going to switch this over to the side here. So the Wi-Fi Smart 3-way light switch, and there is another version of this which isn't 3 ways, but this one's in case you have one of those light switches where you have, like, they're daisy chained. But in general, I think the best approach is a single circuit because it's easier. And now, my house is too old to run this, so testing required MacGyver. But let me show you what you got here in the box as soon as I can slide it out. Oh, so tight. Okay, so in the box, if I can remember how to open it, there you go. So, instruction manual, which I have to say you need to read thoroughly. It tells you everything for wiring, and you don't need to be an electrician, but I have to say, if you're afraid to get electrocuted or something, and you're supposed to turn off your power, by the way, I'm not particularly, I know how to use rubber to prevent myself from being shocked, but definitely probably should have somebody who knows what they're doing do this. You shouldn't just do it because you think you can. You can hurt yourself. Okay, so the device, as you can see, is a straight up plug. You just on. Everything's just controlled by doing this. There's really no other functionality. Nothing else pushes, just here. That is it, once it's in the wall. Here's the kicker. You need a fairly modern house to run it. So, as you can see, there are 5 wires. So these two, right here, complete the circuit, And then, of course, you have the line load bit, which is the black one. Then you have your to essentially run it, because if you don't have this, you're just not going to get power to it to run it, because breaking your circuit on and off is all well and good, but it won't do it without power to the actual device. And of course, because you're running power to the device in addition to the circuit, you definitely need ground, because otherwise you could potentially cause a fire. And the ground is this green wire right here. So ground, neutral, the line load, and then of course the travelers, which is what they call the ones that connect us through the circuits of a three-way series. If you have only single switch, you would cap this one off because you don't need a second traveler. But because these two definitely complete the circuit if you're just doing a single light. But again, if you don't have the neutral and the ground, you can't run this. My house is 130 years old almost. Wiring has been updated for a while, and neutral is not a thing it has. It just does not have a neutral running through it. Most modern homes have neutrals. So, but I mean, otherwise it looks great. I enjoy the simple, clean look of it. I have the plastic is still on top of here, so I'm going to take it off. It'll be even better looking. But it is spectacular. Let me put this back. So I have, of course, taken some notes on timing. So when we talk about latency, we're talking about how long it takes something to happen here. And with the app, it takes approximately a second for it to recognize these devices and turn them off, which is fine. That's through Wi-Fi. If you want to do it from the internet, it takes an additional second or so. Sometimes it just depends on how much Wi-Fi interference is going on in the air, as well as how busy the internet is if you're doing it through the internet. So that's great. And then you have where if you're doing it through your home or your Alexa, and then you add a couple more seconds to it because the device has to go, okay, well, what function am I trying to do? And as you saw when I turned off and on this light at the beginning, it took a second for Google Home to go, oh, okay, let's turn this off, and then turns it back on. So it's more or less going to be a fairly straightforward thing. But the plus side is the devices, for the home devices, you can pretty much be almost anywhere in the room, and as long as you can recognize your voice, you're good to go. So this switch here is upwards of $30. Sometimes you can find it for $25. You can actually get a pair of them for $50. I believe at most that's $60. But great devices if you can install them. I mean, obviously this one's easy, just plug it in. But this one, if you can install it. If you cannot use this light switch, like I can't use the light switch, get a smart LED bulb. Linksys or WEMO currently don't have one, but there are other options out there. So, and by the way, I'm in no way an option, so don't let me tell you what you can and cannot do. I just feel like if you're not confident in yourself, have somebody else install this for you who knows what they're doing. But otherwise, I think they're both great buys. And I will, for the sake of honesty, note that some people have said that the timing for at least WEMO for their scheduling stuff isn't for sure. It doesn't like work all the time, and I have never had that experience. That is not the experience I've had. But if you like to be able to lay down and not have to get a switch or a lamp in this case, these are great products to have. So I truly recommend them. And of course, you can go to the Linksys website and see my written reviews for both products. So definitely, it's worth checking out. And thanks to Linksys for sending me these products. I really appreciate it. I mean, I'm sad that I can't use this in my home, but this I'm using right now. Hey Google, turn off WEMO. Hey Google, turn on WEMO. See? Well, anyway, thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe.
Thank you for checking out our content. Before you leave, please remember to click like and then subscribe. If you want to receive notifications, do not forget to enable them by clicking on the bell. Then afterwards, check out our social media at HasledgeNet and our website at hasledge.net.